So a couple of things right off the bat. First, this bit is pre-recorded. I've tried doing the voice recording live, but I hit the same problem that I did when I tried to do Assault Horizon. And that was I was having too much fun, couldn't think of anything interesting to say, and there was just a lot of dead air. So the bulk will be said now to run you through it all, and then some live stuff will come after. Also, I kinda had to rebuild my computer because of an exploded hard drive. So what I'm doing now is a new process of recording with some different software, a different way of doing the voice, microphone, yada yada. So there's going to be a couple of irregularities as I try and smooth out the process. I'm testing this stuff out because I'm also working on a full Let's Play and I want that stuff to be, a better quality than it has been. Um, I mean, the last time I tried to record this, I ended up getting video and no audio, which is incidentally the video that you're watching now, and is why I'm putting this over the top of it. Anyway, onto the game itself. Now, VTOL VR is a brand new early access title on Steam for the Vive and Rift, and currently gives you control of a fictional version of the CV-32 Pavehammer, which itself is a fictional jet turbine version of the V-22 Osprey. The game is also expected to have, at the very least, a hybrid Superbug/Eagle fighter as well, which you should be able to see in this video. But at the moment, the main draw is the VTOL transport, which can hover, deliver troops, dogfight, and mud move. Now, it handles more or less what you'd expect of an Osprey-style aircraft, with a combination of helicopter and fixed-wing controls that blend together fairly well, plus combat avionics that honestly remind me of the F-22 Total Air War game, with the multifunction displays that contain most of the information you need, plus other controls for autopilot and weapons located around the cockpit. Now, when I say around the cockpit, that'll be relevant in a second, because the biggest thing about VTOL VR, and the thing that separates it from the more arcade shooter War Thunder, which I played in VR and really liked, and the super realistic DCS, which I haven't tried at all, so can't comment on, is that it doesn't use regular controls, like a gamepad or a HOTAS setup. It uses virtual controls. By that I mean you need to physically, virtually, grab the stick and throttle, in this case rather the cyclic and collective, and manipulate them using the motion controllers. Now, at first, you will suffer the same issues as using sniper rifles in any VR game, where you expect something to be physically there that you can use to support your hand while your hand supports it. But nope, you need to keep it steady without assistance, with your hands controlling something that's just floating in the ether. The first time playing, I had many troubles trying to keep straight and level, as simply looking at my instruments would cause my hand to shift in some way, and then oops, I'm inverted. Once you do get used to it though, it's pretty novel, and not actually a bad way to drive something, as proven by Ultra Wings using a similar setup, though again, I've not actually played that game. However, the biggest advantage of this kind of a system means that you can take full advantage of the motion controllers to operate the aircraft, in ways other than just stick and throttle. Now, aside from the main controls you'll be using, which are on the stick and throttle themselves, that is turbine rotation, brakes, weapon selection, and targeting controls, everything else you need to do is on the instrument panels or through the MFDs. And the ones that aren't on the MFD are these big switches you need to grab and flick, which actually feels really good, even when you're just firing up the engines. Oh, that is one thing about this game. Currently there's no quick launch option, so every time you start a mission you need to turn on the battery, then fire up the APU, then fire up the turbines once the APU has some revs, then shut down the APU once the turbines are in idle, and after that you can flick on all the other systems like the HUD, the MFDs, and all that, and get ready to fly. Now, I can see this getting annoying, especially if you're having to restart missions quite a few times, and I'd be surprised if they didn't add an option to skip it. But as it stands, I actually do like it. I like going through that little procedure when you start to fly. It helps put you into the mind frame of being a pilot, of getting prepped to take off and fly and fight wherever you need to. And honestly, that's really all there is to say about this game. As it's very early access, it only has the one aircraft, it's got one island, there's some free flight options, there's a bunch of AI enemies, there's a basic campaign, and a tutorial that will teach you stuff, including a few new ones that I haven't, as of recording this, I haven't run through yet. I'm pretty sure there's a carrier one and maybe an aerial refueler. The first ones were just simply, walking you through how to turn on the aircraft, which does, there's a lot of confusion of, how do I do all this stuff, but these tutorials really streamline that. As soon as you're shown how to operate the plane, then it's all smooth sailing. So now I've gone through, just the basic, the overview, and saying that I do like this game. I do recommend it. If it doesn't click with you, then definitely use Steam Refund to get it back. But yeah, if you're looking for a virtual reality flight sim, I put this one up highly. It looks like they're doing some really good work. So, with that out of the way, I figure I'll just show it off. I'll do some actual live recording, some video recording, and show you a quick dogfight. So, switch over to the Vive microphone, and now. And we are now in the VR. So, a couple of things that have come up since I did that pre-recording bit. So, right after I did that, I tried to record this section, and I immediately got like violently, not so much sick, but I was not doing well, and I just physically could not actually record anything. So that's all been lost, and also I had some more problems with my computer, and just it all snowballed. So we're trying this again. This is now like a week after I recorded that, and in that week, let's see, carry landing practice. No, we should be right. I'm just going to jump into the hostile island, which you saw some of last time. I'm hoping this is all still running well. It's coming up with a couple of little glitches. It might just be because I'm downloading some stuff in the background, maybe. Alright, so first thing about this game, that is your gunship, and you can set up the weapon load however you like. Now this is the loadout I had when I last tried to record, so I'm just going to keep it as is. So you've got the Mavericks, which are, I believe these are just the TV guarded ones, and then the heat-seeking AIM-9 and the RST. Don't actually know what the difference is. Maybe the RST's got a larger warhead, or so I don't know what the gameplay difference is. I always engage at like night fighting range, so. And you can set the fuel limit. There's some ground attack options as well. No other gun options. This thing should now be working. I haven't had a chance to try that out yet. I wonder if... nah, later on. But now we're just going to roll with this. So as you can see, it's a very, very simple setup for the time being. This is super alpha. And the one thing that's really good is that I had a little bit of trouble trying to do wartime, because like you need to have your chair in just the right spot for it to sync up. And this one is just get yourself comfortable, hit recenter, and you're good. Now all the controls are all good, and I can actually manipulate that. Helmet on. Okay. I've just now realized how low battery these my Vive controllers are. Oh, we'll see if we can get this done anyway. So, engine on sequence. As I was saying in the thing, it's battery, APU, turbines. Wait for them to idle. There we go. APU now goes off. Yeah, my computer's getting a little bit laggy. This might be questionable. It may just be the recording. I don't know. Let's put some flaps on. And I guess we'll do this a simple way. So, grip buttons. You press the grip button over whatever you need to do, like it says right there. Now you have control. It takes a little bit of getting used to. It also is kind of absolute, so I'm like putting my hand all the way back, and you can see it's centered like that, which means I can't really pull up. Or if I do it all the way forward, then that means, yeah. So we'll just go for about there's comfortable. And we got the cyclic here. Oh, now the power's on. I need to turn on the HUD. Master arm, because why not? And the MFDs. MFDs do some cool things. I mean, there's navigation there. I'll put your targeting reticle there. Power that up. Now there is a head one that drops down over my right eye. You can kind of see it in the footage I have of my pre-recording, but you can't see it in the recording itself because right over my right eye, which, I mean, you're seeing some of my thumb there. While on my view, I've got like half my face covered, so I keep on bashing my headset as well. So sadly, I can't show it off. It is a cool feature. Disorienting is all hell because when you zoom it right in, it's like you're looking around and half your view is like whatever you're looking at. And then over here, so we got weaponry. But then we've also got this. Oh, that's not the one. This one, the spectator cam, which does set it to random. If I hit start, oh. So it's still showing like inside. There we go. And now you're seeing me in the aircraft. Can I? Oh, going backwards. No, I'm not. I have no idea. It's really low res on my screen, so I don't know if you actually see me waving at it. But that's a nice. It's a really cool feature. The problem is it messes up all the audio, so everything sounded like I was outside the plane, which I can actually emulate. Got some really cool stuff in here. And you would have noticed this, that's to the eject, which you'll probably get to pretty soon. Okay, so I can either taxi and do a regular cat launch, or and away we go. As I was saying, there's limited hands-on stick and throttle controls, so if I press up on my left, that you can see the tilt going. That's now putting me into horizontal flight, and just go to military power. Speed's fast enough. Oh.
Landing gear.
Try and do it without splashing down. That would be bad. Some allied fighters over there. So you don't need to keep your hands on the controls all the time. I mean, it's probably a good idea to, but no, you can mess around with things in the cockpit. Like if I'm feeling like straight and level, now I just go heading and altitude, and the autopilot is now on, and that's keeping my plane nice and level, and I can mess around with things. I can adjust, let's see, adjust that. I can't actually drive it without using the stick, but yeah, the stick thumb pad is, you see the reticle on there, and you can see that right there. So if I zoom in, see it's locked in on, I believe that's a CIWS. So it's locked in on an R2-D2 on that drone carrier. There's my wingman, who will soon start engaging those drones. You can kind of see him on there. Not in that close. Yeah, the drone carrier will launch a whole bunch of them. So think of this as being like, you know, a very early tech demo of Ace Combat 7. We'll go with that. Right, autopilot off.
Fox 3.
We're about to get in combat, so the most important thing. Nope. There we go. And now the bit where I don't talk at all. I see ya. Come on, come on, come on.
Box 3, missile launch.
God, I really hope I jinked off that missile. Christ, there's some well-armored drones. Come on.
Box 3.
There we go. That's how you snapshot. Oh yeah. Now something tells me.
Box 2.
There we go. That was a relatively successful strike. A lot more successful than I've done in the past. That was actually really good. So it gets a little bit involving in the dogfights with having to operate all the different controls for locking on. Yeah, there's no simple push button lock on whatever's in front of you, so... do we have any other targets? Oh yep, that guy's tangling with a couple, so... Go help him out.
Box 2, missile launch.
Man of aim 9. Shit! Oh, I saw that. Oh! So there go all my weapons, which means... Jesus Christ, it's still disorientated as all... Ow. So, there's still been a couple of minor bugs with this game. First of all, the obvious one being when you eject, it doesn't do it properly. I should have ejected as soon as I took damage and not try to ride it out. You think after seeing Dunkirk I would have learned that lesson. So where's the... Here we go, flight log. So this is... It has a lot of really neat features, like it has all the kinds of shit that I knocked out. Drone carrier, SAM, gun turret. Roll kill by... Pack 3 Patriot. Oh, no, that's Romeo 1-1, okay. So one of my allies got killed by the Patriot before I knocked it out. Like, 20 seconds later. That was unfortunate for him. So, I mean, that's really all there is for this game. It's pretty engaging. It's fun just to dig around with, and, again, I honestly can recommend this to people who want a little bit of a different VR experience, without having a HOTAS setup. You just need to get a mindset of that you've got controls here that you need to manipulate. Takes a little bit getting used to, but it's really fun. So, yeah, I'm going to call it there. I'm going to get this video finally done. It's been a long-ass time in the making. Not a lot of effort, just, yeah, hasn't been a good week for me. And my computer's doing some weird stuff, so I gotta look at that. So, I'm gonna get this one done, and pretty soon you should have a couple more VR games. There's a couple more that I want to get done. Now that I have a new recording setup, I want to keep on bashing them out, get my thoughts out there, and get things prepped for, as said, a couple of LPs I got down the track. So, no further ado, see you guys around.